Welcome back to the Smallville Retrospective. I'm Scotty, you're not. Let me shut the door here. Trying to find new ways to do this. Today we're looking at the episode, Season 3, Episode 12, Hereafter. So, in this episode, a new kid arrives at school. That's right, a new kid named Jordan, who we never see again. Jordan, it turns out, has the ability to see people's deaths. One day, Clark saves someone, and this turns out to change the destiny of two other students in the school. Meanwhile, Lex is a little bit concerned about Adam after he trashes the apartment above the town. And Chloe finds a syringe, a needle that she sees Adam toss in the trash. Why is it like this? I don't know why it's doing it. It's weird. But yeah, this episode was okay. And then the ending happened and I went, whoa, this just went up. And this is the end of the disc. I'm done doing it for today. And the cliffhanger, when we talk about this cliffhanger, it makes me want to watch more. Watch more. Okay, so the episode starts with, I'm 33 for a moment. Yeah, that song is playing as they're tugging, and I'm introduced to Jordan, who accidentally touches Lana, and we see that she lives to be old, and then it comes very important later. Yes. And then he happens to touch Coach Altman later, or cuts the pets on the back or whatever, and he sees something's happened. He's about to jump in front of a moving car, but Clark jumps in the way and saves him. And it turns out he was doing that because his daughter died. His daughter died, and she was on life support, and he was forced to take her off life support recently, like a week or two or a month, whatever it was. We find out that Lana's friend Megan, who we never saw before this and we'll never see again, was partially responsible because she had an argument with the guy's daughter. And Lana said she could have stopped the daughter, but didn't for some reason. Like she just wanted her to cool off. They didn't know what was going to happen, right? But they say all this stuff when he's in the hospital, supposedly sedated and then not conscious, but we find out he is. And look, I felt like this was in there because we needed to have some sort of villain in this episode. That's what it felt like. It felt like there's a whole bunch of stuff going on, but we needed a villain. So that's why this guy was thrown in there. He ends up being a villain. I don't know. I know that Jordan's power probably wouldn't have worked unless it led to this, but I don't know. Other storylines like the Lex investigating Adam storyline and Chloe finding out stuff about Adam, stuff that's not adding up, and then, Clark and Jordan. I will say this. There's some bullshit going on here, okay? So, Jordan accidentally bumps into Megan or whatever and sees that she's going to die in a fire. When he freaks out and tries to stop her, she freaks out, tells him to leave her alone, and then leaves. He tells Clark what's going to happen, and they walk to Megan's house. When they get there, Sheriff Adams, that old bitch, is there, and she accuses Jordan of kidnapping Megan. And I said, And I said, okay, Clark, tell her. He's in with me all afternoon. He couldn't have done it. He says fucking nothing. Nothing. He just lets Sheriff Adam, we need to talk. No, you don't. Clark, tell him, tell her, whatever. Tell her, oh, Jordan's been with me all afternoon since we left school. We left school together, we walked right here. We walked here. He's been nowhere else. Why doesn't he defend Jordan? Instead, it leads to a scene where Jordan's father comes and says, we're going to take you out of school. And Jordan runs off to the school to get away from his dad, where he bumps into Adam. We don't see his vision, but later we find out that it was of Adam's death, but that he already died. And then he accidentally bumps into Lana, which leads him to see her dying in fire just before she is kidnapped by someone off screen, who is, of course, Coach Altman, who's another character we haven't seen before and never will see again. So, when Clark is at home, get ready to come in for dinner, Jordan shows up and tells him, hey, something's wrong. I saw Lana Stina die in the fire. He gives him information and they both go there. And even though he tells Jordan to stay out there, he goes in to help save them. And, Lana doesn't question it anymore. She's like, Clark, save Megan. And I'm just like, she doesn't question Clark being there anymore. She's used to it. So, every time she's in trouble, she's like, no, I'm not going to worry about it. Clark Kent will be here to save me. That's what she should do. She should, put her legs up, It gets to a point, they did this with Superman lore before. What is it? Is it the Batman-Superman movie where someone tries to hijack a plane and they find out that Lois Lane's on a plane and they're like, uh-oh. That's the girl that Superman saves all the time. And then he shows up. I think that's what it was from. But yeah. They could have fun with that, but Clark saves the day, and Jordan tries to save Coach Altman, but he's found unconscious. Jordan is. Clark saves him. By the way, when he touches Clark earlier, we see the Superman cape leading into an infinity. Like he's not going to die. So, yeah. I never saw Superman as he can never die sort of situation. I know there's a lot of talk on the Flash TV series about, oh, you come in and you, centuries from now, you'll come in, and I'm like, there's no way he'd live that long. He gets older. We know that by 2046, whatever it is, from Legends Season 2, that he's sounding older. He does age, as does Superman. I've seen the pictures of Superman with the gray streaks in the side of the hair. Batman Beyond did that. Superman does age. I don't know where they get this. He's going to live on forever, because that's not how it works. He ages just slower. They had to have Tyler Hoechlin have stubble on his face so he looks older, because he's 30 playing someone who should be 40. 30-something playing someone who should be 40-something. He's around my age or so. And he's playing someone who should be in his 40s, because that's how Superman should be. But he won't age at the appropriate time like us, but he does age. Here they just say he's never going to age. He's never going to die. Maybe, I don't know. I want a run of old man Superman comics, old geezer. He's got a super powered walker or something. I don't know. Superman. I don't know. But I don't know. And if Tom Wayne was to come back to the role, he could pull it off. He's got that silver hair thing going. He could be a silver-haired Superman. Not that he didn't want to put on the suit, but, yeah, Jordan doesn't have his powers anymore. He tells, he's at Jordan's house with him. Clark is. He says, I'll see you tomorrow. We never see him again. But this is where he tells Lana about, what's going to happen. What happened with, Adam. And by the way, let's go to see Lex. And Lex has dropped his, he's, okay, so first off, he invites Adam to the mansion, right? And he's playing Rachmaninoff. One of his hardest pieces, apparently, according to Lex. And so that's when he has him to sneak into the apartment above the town where Chloe is. And Chloe breaking and entering is not not legal or something like that. She's like, I would say the same to you. He's like, well, I own the place. He's got a point. He does own the place. He owns the talent. So, technically, he can go in there. But Chloe found some sort of drug, but doesn't show Lex. And then Lex has all of a sudden dropped his investigations. I think it's because he wants to keep Adam close so he can kind of keep an eye on him. But, yeah. Then we get... That was before the Jordan scene. And then we get the end. So Clark is in the house with Martha. And she hands him a plate of cookies and says, take these up to your father and make sure at least some of them make them to your father. And that's when I realized, oh, I remember what happens. I forgot about this. So he goes out. You hear like a bandsaw or something going, some kind of mechanical thing going. He's like, Dad? You see some sheets of wood falling down, and he turns around. And this is done so well. He turns around, he sees his dad laying there, and in slow motion, he drops the plate of cookies. They fall, the plate breaks, despite falling on the dirt ground, which is not hard enough to break the plate, but it doesn't matter. Poor cookies. But anyway, what happens next is he sees his dad. I teared up, okay, because it's just, he's holding his dad in his arms. His dad goes, no, not now. He looks at Clark and goes, I love you, son. Like, that's how death is. I love you, son. Just, and then, end. That's the end. That's it. That's it. That's the end. That's the end of the episode. And when he says, I love you, son. Tears. It's just, John Snyder was so good. There's a scene earlier where he's talking to Clark because he's comparing, what's going on with Jordan. Jordan's dad is very protective. He goes, when you have someone with special abilities, you want to protect him. You want to, you want to keep them safe from the world, stuff like that. And he's like, well, I thought about it, but your mother convinced me that you needed life beyond the farm. So they almost like homeschooled him and everything too. So, but even when I met Pete, who by the way is barely in this episode, I think maybe we see him once or twice. Not even. I feel like Pete could have been so much more. Like, I don't know. Going back and watching these, Pete does jack shit in these episodes. He could be involved in so much more, and they give him nothing to do, really. Like, I see what they tried with, giving him, like, learning Clark's secret, but they've done nothing with that. They do nothing with that, really. He knows Clark's secret. Yay. And then it plays into his exit, but there's really nothing, This episode was okay, but that ending, I'm giving it 3.5. Superman logos out of 5. 0.5 is that ending. It doesn't go up a whole point, because I'm not that generous, but 3.5, that ending, wow. That was, I don't know what to say about it. It was just, it was. So, that's the last one for today. I started out late because I was, I woke up this morning, my stomach was a little ooey. I didn't go to work today. And so I was iffy on even doing any today, but I decided, I woke up, I had breakfast. And I was like, you know what? I was a little wait to see the food could be kept down. Like, I'm feeling alright. Let me knock out at least one disc. So here I am. And, sorry about this song, but it's popping in my head. No, I'm just kidding. There's no song popping in my head. But, yeah, so, thank you for watching. I'm Scotty, and I'll see you in the next one.